It's Lori, late night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Craftin. Let me get my devices set up and see if we can get things settled here. Let me back up here. Pardon my reach. Do we have sound this time? We do have sound. Yay! All right, let me get my other device set up while you pop back on with me. And hopefully, great, now it's working. Right? There we go. Whew. All right. Yay! All right, give me just a second here, and I'll get my little welcome message up here. Maybe. Boy, what a day! Thank you for being patient with me. I should have restarted my phone. It didn't even occur to me that we might have some troubles. All right, welcome. So Rose is here, Honeybee's Stamping Hive from Florida. Welcome back. You've not been here for a bit. Suzanne from Arkansas is here, or AKA Joss, right? Yeah. So it has been a day. It's been a long few days. The time went really, really fast. Those of you who kind of follow along with me know that I have been at OnStage in Long Beach, California since Wednesday. We got home today. Luckily, only one of our flights was delayed, and that was we had a one layover flight. So from Long Beach, we stopped in Las Vegas, and we were only delayed, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes-ish, not bad. So we got home before our snowpocalypse, and it is a light blizzard outside right now. So we made it home without too much trouble. Hello, Yuda. And then we got some dinner because we were hungry. And then we stopped off. I had picked up all of the things for my team leader because she couldn't go. She had registered and found out her daughter, who is a senior in college, had an ice skating competition, and that was the same weekend. So it was more important for her to do the ice skating competition with her daughter than it was to come to OnStage. So I gathered up her goodies. So we dropped those off at her house. And then we went and picked up our granddaughter because we found out schools were going to be closed tomorrow. And her mom, if she has to work, will need help with childcare. So it would be easier to get her tonight than tomorrow morning with more snow. So long story short, when we got home, we were doing things with the granddaughter. And then I sat down for a few minutes, and that became like, I don't know, an hour and a half that I sat down. And I should have been unpacking, and I wasn't, but I'm here now. So let's get just a little more light here. How is everybody? Now that I just been, So anyway, I should probably say this is Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting, coming to you from Wisconsin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and we're going to pretend that it's Sunday night, March 15th at 11:59 p.m., even though I was a few minutes late, even though I had technical difficulties. But here I am. So thank you. Thank you for the welcome home. So let's do just our quickie announcements. If you need to find all things Stampin' Up!, like if you're a demonstrator, your online catalog is available today, if it's the 16th where you are. But you can find all things Stampin' Up!, new products, promotions, that sort of thing at latenightLori.stampinup.net. And boo hiss, Stampin' Up's OnStage was over. But it's all good. I will be having my Monday open studio time for those brave enough to come out in the blizzard. If it turns into more of a blizzard, we're just going to set over, and I'll probably do that next week. Wednesday, we do have coffee and a card. Thursday, I have my Thoughtful Thursday group. That's a private group. Sunday, I have a private class. And there's some other stuff going on that I don't even remember. So, yes, thank you. I'm glad we got home safe as well. But it was a good time. So, couple reminders. We have this virtual album retreat. This, you guys, I am looking forward to ordering this again. Excuse me. We can order this starting on the 18th. It is a high price point item. I'll give you that. But you can earn your Stampin' Rewards on it. If you're a demonstrator, you get a discount. So if you're not a demonstrator and you want the discount, feel free to join. But it is well worth the money. You get pretty much all the supplies you need. There's some few supplemental supplies that you need. But if you are local to me, we will have a watch party for this. Depending on how many people come, I might have to find an alternate location than my studio, because my studio for a scrapbooking thing will only have space enough for a few people. So we'll go from there. But this is an awesome time to learn lots of things, not only for scrapbooking, but for paper crafting in general. All right, new kits. There's 2 new kits. Done that. Product of the month. You probably know the drill if you've been following along since December. They started this program. If you've got a qualifying order in the United States at $75 before shipping, before tax, after any Stampin' Rewards or other discounts you might have, you can then add this to your cart for a mere $5. Mine should be coming, or it might already be here. I had my mail held, so it might be here. Who knows? So let's get on to Stampin' Up stuff, right? Now, I don't even know if I'm going to craft tonight because I didn't get very good sleep while we were gone. Not for lack of trying. But we stayed in an Airbnb. It was a studio. It was just me and my roadie, Macman, came with. We had a rental car, so he would drop me off at the door where I needed to be, and he would pick me up at the door. Whenever I said to be there, he was there at my beck and call. And happy to do it. He didn't complain a bit when it was 9 o'clock one night. You know, he didn't care. He was quite the trooper. So anyway, we stayed at an Airbnb, which was fine. Right across the street, kind of kitty corner from the fire department and the police department, though. So you can only imagine in a place like Long Beach how often sirens were going off on their way to calls. Oftentimes within like a minute. Bloop, here's more. Bloop, here's some more. It was kind of crazy. So yay, Macman. Yes, he was awesome. So the sirens were not really that much of a problem because some of you may know that sirens run in our blood for both of us because we have been in emergency services, either law enforcement, fire, EMS sort of thing. So the sirens were really not a big deal for us. It's just kind of like, ooh, light, where are they going? What do they have? You know, that sort of thing. So it's not like it kept us awake. The bed, however, did not really allow us to sleep well. It was kind of a crappy bed. There was like no foundation. It was just like metal slats. And then the mattress was super, super hard. The first morning when we woke up, we were both kind of like, oh my gosh, my body hurts. The second day, I could hardly move. I was in so much pain. So the third night, I slept in a chair. And it was kind of like a patio kind of chair, not even a nice recliner chair because it was just a small studio. So I had my feet up on the bed as I'm laying, trying to recline in as much as I could in this like patio chair with the comforter over me. At least I could move in the morning. Um, but then last night I tried to sleep in the bed again, but kind of more sitting up, so I wasn't laying down on this hard bed that was causing my back a lot of pain. We survived, but yikes. So, something just dinged through on my phone here. So anyway, we survived. So, I don't have anything prepped to craft, but I'm going to show you all of the things that we got, and we'll go from there. I have some parts and pieces that I could kind of walk through what we did for stuff, but let me start with this cool bag we got. All right. So, yeah, well, I think if I was younger, maybe it wouldn't have been so painful. But now that I'm older and spoiled and have a really nice bed at home, I expect a really nice bed when I stay someplace. So anyway, here is the cool plush bag we got. Now it's got a pocket on the outside. It's got this shoulder strap so I could hang it off of me. This is the tag we made before I left, if you remember. And then it's got what could be a pocket on the other side, but it worked really nice to, let me see if I can back this up a little bit more. It has a zipper on the bottom, so it actually goes over the handle on my luggage. So that's a really nice feature. Okay. And then on the inside, isn't this adorable with all these polka dots? So this comes up in zips. So it's really, really roomy. But there's pockets on the sides. The Stampin' Up! Emblem is on the inside. There's zippered pockets here and here and here. So this is just really a super cute bag. And it held a lot of stuff. So I will get some use of that, but of course I don't want it to get super dirty, so I will be careful with when I use it. Now, we also, depending on boho blue, actually no, this is hydrangea hue, one of the new in colors. So Suzanne, a bad bed is miserable. It is. God, on top of a bed. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Towels, pillowcases. Yeah, I know. I tried everything. I tried moving pillows. I tried sleeping on a pillow. It just, yeah. Sometimes when we travel, with a group of gals, if we get an Airbnb, I will generally take the couch over a bed because I find it is more comfortable. So anyway, so I always look forward to getting my badge. And, we get a lanyard to put it on. And Stampin' Up! Has started doing these pins, which are exclusive to the event. And it kind of goes with the logo of the event. I don't know why this is such a cool thing for me, but I collect these. So I have them hanging on 3 different hooks in my studio space here, with several on each. But it's just a nice, fun reminder. They don't take a whole lot of space as far as souvenirs go. When MacMan and I travel other places, we just buy little shot glasses, because not that we drink shots, but because they're usually very scenic. It's a good reminder of things that we may have done or seen, and they don't take a whole lot of room, and they're relatively inexpensive. So anyway, I like to keep these. I do have some fancy Stampin' Up! Lanyards too that I put them on to display. But we get our little ribbons for our accomplishments. And this shows, what country we're from, our prize patrol number, which is a very important number. This barcode or this QR code gives us our schedule, our lunch choice, and if we did an after hours event, which I did. So this is getting displayed right next to my crafting space, on top of last year's badge. So that's always fun. Now, This year I was, my title was Silver Elite. So I was eligible to participate in some special Silver Elite things, which was a really nice breakfast for us. And it's not like the breakfast was hoity-toity or anything. It's just a time for all of the leadership level demonstrators to get together, have breakfast, chit chat, and we got this cute little, I think it's considered a cosmetic bag, but it obviously matches our big boho blue bag. And again, it's got the really cute polka dotted inside, little zippered pocket, and the Stampin' Up! Tags and everything. I mean, they have these made exclusively for Stampin' Up!, so that's really cool. And then it also has this OnStage fob on it, and this matches the shoulder strap for the big bag, if you remember that for there. And then I'll keep this. I'll probably do a scrapbook page. So, you know, it's just so fun to be recognized for the efforts, you know, that we put in. I love all the hearts, you guys. Isn't this fun? So, you know, if you're not a demonstrator, you should become one. And if you are a demonstrator, you should come to OnStage. Because it's a great, great time to hook up with each other and encourage each other and congratulate each other on all of the things that we've done. So a couple of the gals that I've met over the years had little giveaways. I did not do any swaps ahead of time. I just didn't stress over it. But I did get, this one was from Yarmila, my friend Yarmila, and it's a little hat. Obviously there's chocolate in here. I haven't eaten it yet, but she made this cute little hat. She does crafting when she travels, and she just has some of these little things to pass out to people that has her contact information on the back. So she gave this to me so I would have it as an idea for some of my travels coming up. And then one of the other gals did this little sheep from our, what are they called? I don't even remember what this set is called. We used it a lot. Use something. What is it? What is the name of that? Each time Easter basket. Oh, goodness. It's in here somewhere, right? Woolly Friends. I got all the way from the alphabet to the W's. Yeah, Woolly Friends. So this is just, she made a front and a back and a little triangular piece. And she's got a chocolate kiss in there. Yes, thank you, Suzanne, Woolly Friends. I'm a little slow on the draw. And again, she put her contact information on the back. So, you know, I think this would be just such a fun, easy thing to make, you know? So maybe we'll do that in a day or two. Who knows? And then this bag, there's lots of stuff in here. It has a lot of my goodies, but I also, before Stampin' Up!, had the opportunity to purchase some gift type items. And I have some things that I plan to share with my team. And one of the sets, now I had to pay for all of these as a separate order item. It's not anything that I got for free. But we got, there were 3 types of gifts that we could purchase. So one was these frames. There's actually a small frame and a large frame. So each package has 2 frames in each of these designs. So anybody on my team who wants to send me a message and tell me if they would like a frame, I would love to send you something that is of your liking rather than just sending you something that you're not going to like and that you won't use. The other thing that I was able to purchase ahead of time were these little coin purses. I'm going to keep one for myself, one for my granddaughter, but I bought several of these. So this is the new Hydrangea Hue. This is Peaceful Pine. This is Barely Blush. Is that the color? Yes, Barely Blush. And then this is the Crisp Cantaloupe. Or is that Golden Glow? This might be Golden Glow. Let's see, and it doesn't say on here. So those I was able to buy as well. So I have several of these. So again, if you're on my team and you have an inkling to have one of those, that will be my gift to you. And then the other thing I was able to get were these pen clips, and they're kind of fun. Let me take them all out of here. And again, these are things that I had to purchase. This was not part of the registration package at all. So look at this. There's a cute little watering can. There's some rain boots. Hopefully you can see that. A VW van. It says I love you on the license plate. And then these flip-flops. And how it works is there's like a clip on here. So it's like a bookmark clip. So it's like a clip that slides onto your item, maybe. Okay. And then you slide your pen in there, and this is like almost like a slinky, and it holds your pen. How fun is that? So like on the front of a notebook, that could go on there, and then you don't lose your pen. I thought that was a great idea. So I have a number of those to share with my team as well. So if you are on my team and would like a pen clip, send me a message. And I am looking to share those because I cannot use as many as I purchased. Those are adorable, aren't they? And I bought more than one package because I thought these would be really cute. So there's the watering can, the rain boots, the flip-flops, and then that VW bus. So I thought those were adorable. All right. So yeah, the pen holders are adorable. All right, so let's see what else I have here. Oh, that's for my OnStage pen. Another one of my friends made this little like magnet and shared it with me. I said, oh, I didn't bring any swap. She says, that's okay, you can have this because that's how demonstrators are. So she stamped it and embossed it on these little like ceramic tiles. So it just says, thanks for being a true friend. I thought that was very sweet that she shared that with me. That was from Tracy, my friend Tracy. So if Tracy's watching from the balcony at all, thank you. And then let's delve into the bag, shall we? And here is our fun placemats that we got to use. I will probably cut a strip of this out and put it on a scrapbooking page. But I thought if I don't get it dirty when we're working, I try to collect them. For part of them, I actually stamped on the back of it so that I would have the front unblemished. So this is, if you saw my pictures of the new decorative masks that are coming out, I think I might have mentioned those yesterday. I think we played with them Saturday. They are like 12, they're probably like 13 inches square because there's like a 1/2 inch frame around them. And then the design, whether it's this water or pebble or giraffe design, whatever you see when you look at it, there's also, if you can see here, these polka dots. There's a sheet that's all polka dots as well. So I'm really looking forward to getting those. Those are going to be so fun to work with because you'll be able to use them if you're a scrapbooker, if you're a junk journal person where you've got a bigger area to cover, or if you're a card maker and you just need a little area. I'll show those cards again, but I bring these home so that I can relive the fun. All right, so let's just slide all these goodies out. And I'm not even sure how much that bag weighed, but it was considerable weight there. All right, so that was my ink spot from something else. Here's another swap card one of my friends gave me. Oh, and I'll show you that too, that's fun. This was from, oh, this is from my Kentucky friend Michelle. And it says, "You're the sweetest." And again, I told her I didn't bring any swaps. She said, "That's okay." So I will have to mail some cards out to these gals when I catch up. But it's one of these where I'm not even sure what they call it. But I saw some this week done like this, which I really like, and like this. So it's a fun fold. So maybe we'll do that sometime this week too, courtesy of Michelle. All right, and then this was another one from my friend Yarmila. She's the one that did the little hat, that little Reese's peanut butter hat. So she did this as well, and she said these go so quick. And of course they would, because there's just a little belly band with a little focal point with your sentiment, a little piece of cardstock, scored, folded, and then you put a little bit of little candy in there. And how cute is that? Put some designer series paper on there. Doesn't take any time, hardly, to put that together. So she gave me that as well. She does these when she goes traveling. So I'm going to make a bunch of those before I go on my next trip. All right, let's move those out of the way. And then let's get to some of the other goodies. So those are make and take things. Oh yes, here's a catalog. Let's hold that for last. So the other thing we get is usually some kind of notebook or journal. And I really like these that Stampin' Up! Gives us. There's a place here for your pen to go. That's an elastic band. There's a place here to put a name placard. There were stickers inside here that had, you know, you could put the sticker, "This book belongs to so-and-so," but I'm going to put letters on here. But there's a nice little stencil ruler here. Let me see if I have, do I have any colored paper handy? So I don't know if you can see it, but there's different shapes on here, so you can, and this comes out, so this will lift out of here, and you can move it around on your page, and you can make little shapes. You can, you know, color them in or just outline them. Pretty cool, pretty fun. And then we can just take notes, and the whole notebook is ready for us to do sketches or business notes or whatever. And it's got a nice hardcover on the back too. These I look forward to every year. They're not always like this. Sometimes they're different, but I always look forward to getting that. And then, of course, because it has a pen holder, we need to have pens, right? So these were the pens we got this year, and they write like a dream. They must be gel pens. So we've got our Crisp Cantaloupe, our Peaceful Pine, and I think this is supposed to be like a Golden Glow, but they write really nice. I was using this one because it matches my thing. Such a nice flowing pen. So we got those as well. And this is just so exciting. All right, let's see. Oh, this is just my folder of stuff I took with me so I would have all of my information should I need it. Now, these are all of the new in colors. So if you would like this template, this worksheet, I can get it to you. I would like to offer an in color club to my folks. So basically, like every month we would cover one of the new in colors. I'll get a package of products like the blends, the ink pad, cardstock, and then figure out the price for that. And then we can do them once a month. That way you don't have to buy everything all at once. You can get one color at a time. And remember, these are going to be the new ink pad style. Sorry, I'm really thirsty. So that new ink pad style, remember, is these wonderful magnetic cases. Okay, now they don't hold as well that way, but if you go this way, they hold really well. I saw these when Stampin' Up! First acquired some of the Close to My Heart. Don't worry about that color because that's not a color for us. But when Stampin' Up! Acquired some of the Close to My Heart product line, when they went out of business and when they invited those makers to join Stampin' Up!, one of the makers joined the team that I was on, and she had the stamp set when we did a swap early on. And as soon as Stampin' Up! Demonstrators were allowed to purchase some of this old merchandise product line that they had acquired, I got a stamp set, or a stamp pad. This was the only color that was available because I wanted to have this because I was so in love with this ink pad. My thumbs do not hurt when I try to open this. It opens and closes, and you could actually even open it one-handed. So the ladies that work with me, that craft with me, that have arthritis, this is going to be magical for them. All right. These stamp pads will be a little more expensive because there's metal inside, there's magnets inside. Hello, Tanya. Hello, Lori from Minnesota. Welcome. So we're doing a little walkthrough of my OnStage goodies. But these are going to be awesome cases. I believe they're going to be $14 a piece. The only ones that are getting released in 2026 are going to be the new in colors. And those in colors are, and I mentioned it before, are Barely Blush, Crisp Cantaloupe, Golden Glow, Hydrangea Hue, and Peaceful Pine. They will be in the new stamp case design. Starting in 2027, Stampin' Up! Is going to release other colors with that new stamp pad design, and there will be a color refresh. All right. So if you don't have ink pads, in all the colors, you might want to wait to buy colors if you want the new ink pads. If you want some of the older ink pads because they are less expensive and they're going to work just fine, I would suggest maybe buying the re-inker and the ink pad because the color formulas are going to be different. The new ink pads are felt. They have a different formula for the ink that works with the felt. The foam has a different formula because the chemical reaction with the foam is different. So the inks are not interchangeable. All right. So the felt pads, you need the new re-inkers. The foam pads, you need the current or the old re-inkers. So keep that in mind. But we're going to do Color Club, and keep that in mind if you're interested in doing that. If you're not a demonstrator and you want to do a little bit at a time, I will try to hook you up. All right. We also did some playing. I need to put this together because I didn't do that. And I should have some, there's some fun flaps or whatever they're called in here. But we did some little coloring techniques. All right. So the first thing we did was just use the ink pad with a brayer. So the silicone brayer. So that was this. This was just random roll off, and this was repeated roll off where you get the more solid color. And this is the Golden Glow. And then we also did where we took the dark and the light, but then we used the color lifter, which we've done on some of our projects here, remember, where if you go slow, you can make a more obvious line. If you kind of go fast, you're not going to get as much. You can make polka dots. So that was with our, just the light and the dark, and the color lifter. And this, I don't know if you can see the shimmer on here, but this is with those new shimmer pens. I don't know if that's what they're called. Let me see. Let me see if I can see what they're called. If I can look in the catalog and find them quickly. They are called a shimmer brush. The shimmer brush will be available in the new in colors. So clearly I will be getting those because they're like Wink Estella on steroids. That's just what I'm going to call them. And they are going to be, in the US, looks like $10. So the same price as a Wink Estella pen. So these are really cool because I took the brush and I painted. You could use a color lifter with notebook stencils. Yeah. So you mean if you colored it first and then use the color lifter with a stencil? Yeah, that would be a great technique. So this, we used the brush to get the shimmer all over. And then we did some flicking with that, just like I do with Wink Estella. So if I have a Wink Estella pen and, you know, I've done my brushing or whatever, and then I go and flick it, that's the same thing I did here to get the big drops. So as soon as I get those, I was not able to pre-order those yet. There were only a couple items that we could pre-order. So I did my pre-order Saturday. That was the first day we could do any pre-order. But as soon as I can get these, I will get them and I will demonstrate them more for you. This was using the new Stampin' Positioner. And the new Stampin' Positioner is in, sorry, I've got all my little masking tapes on here. But the new Stampin' Positioner is in the catalog. I'm pretty certain. Tools, Stampin' Blends. I wonder if it's an online item. I may just not be seeing it in here, but let's see. Nope, the Stampin' Positioner is in the new catalog, the May catalog. So we did this using the Positioner. So because it's such a solid image, of course, sometimes it's hard to get that on the first inking. So when you re-ink and push that Positioner down again, you know, just boop, ink it up again, push it down, you can get a good image. So that's what we did with this. And then this we used, I suppose it doesn't matter which way we go, but we used our watercolored pencils with this one. And I went from dark to lighter, and then we took our blending pen and just showed the difference of what it's like with the blending pen as opposed to just colored pencil. And this, we used the new gel pen on just some two-tone cardstock. So Stampin' Up! Is also going to be carrying a white gel pen. Now, I know some of you give me crap because I don't have gel pens. I'm a gel pen virgin. I only have one. So anyway, Stampin' Up! Is now going to be carrying the white gel pens. All right. Another thing we played with is, what did we call it? There's going to be a new plate for, it's called an impressions plate, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. So it's similar to Pierce Matte Impressions Plate 74. That's what it's called, Impressions Plate. I remembered. What do you know? It's basically like a silicone mat that's the same size as our other mats for the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So you'll mist your cardstock first off. You'll run it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with the normal platform, the normal sandwich for whatever dies you're using. And then you take the die cut item in the die, you turn it over, you put this silicone mat on top of it, and then this plate, I believe it's the number 4 plate. The sandwich information will be there, or I will share it with you once I played with it again. But then you run it through and you get all of this impression on there. So it's kind of like a hybrid embossing folder, but different, so that you can use it with all the dies that are designed to do this. So that's pretty cool. When I can get that ordered, I will order that as well so that we can play with that too. So many things. So many things. All right. So we, for Prize Patrol today, I think this was a Prize Patrol, received these Sunset Sparkle sequins. These are all self-adhesive. I still wish they would put the colors on these packages, but they don't. All right. So, yes, Suzanne, a white gel pen. Yay. And it looks very similar to me as this one, which is a jelly roll. But of course, it's going to have Stampin' Up's name on it. But it looks very similar to this one as best I could recall for being sleep deprived and hundreds of miles from home. So anyway, these are pretty cool. These are very low profile sequins. They do not have the hole in the middle, and they're self-adhesive, so those are nice. Let's do this product experience. That was all of those color cards that I just showed you. So this, one of our, we have 4 breakout sessions that we can choose to go to, 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday. So I was able to do all 4 of them. One of them is a product experience for our breakout groups. And this product experience was these coloring techniques, this new embossing pad. And then we also in here received 2 One Sheet Wonder templates. So don't worry about taking pictures of this. I will make this available when I do some projects with that. And I'll look up some of the samples and we'll play. Just not today. All right. So this is basically, our sample was on vellum. But I will be able to get out of the print lab the templates to share when we do those projects. All right, let's go over to some of these things. Oh, and if you're ever in Long Beach, I highly recommend Buono's. Buono's. I'm not sure how the Italians say it, but this was an excellent little restaurant that was very close to our Airbnb. We got in and seated right away. We were able to scan a QR code on our way out so that our parking was free because they have a parking lot that they allow their customers to use. We got some complimentary bruschetta delivered to the table when we got there. That was delicious. We got some eggplant logs. So they're strips of eggplant, breaded. Hello, Allie. I almost missed that you came in. They were breaded, of course deep fried because everything tastes better deep fried, with a marinara sauce that you could put on to whatever level you wanted. Those were absolutely delicious. And you got 4 of them. So Mac Menon each, I had like 1.5 and he had the rest of them. And then we ordered a pizza. And it was just a medium pizza. And we had the rest of it the next day because we had a refrigerator and an oven in our Airbnb. But it was like a puffy crust, and the cheese was perfect, and the sausage was all the crumbly. Oh, it was excellent. And it had the cornmeal on the bottom so it doesn't stick and, get burned like some pizzas do. So, yeah, I wasn't sure I was going to be on here either because I was having a hard time staying awake. But then all of a sudden, bam, second wind kicks in and here I am. So if you're ever in Long Beach, this was an excellent restaurant. And the staff was very attentive. And it wasn't like you're looking around for your server. If somebody walked by, they kind of checked on you whether it was their table or not. It was kind of like everybody was watching everything. It was awesome. Awesome experience. And it wasn't that expensive either. I was really surprised. Very reasonably priced. Okay, so let's see. I gotta check my things here because okay. This was a prize patrol. My husband used to have eggplant too. His grandfather had a butcher shop, and they did the garden, and they had a lot of, and they did like a grocery store and a butcher shop. So they would grow a lot of their stuff for the store. So he remembers growing up with a lot of that fresh stuff. I didn't. I was a small city kid, and not a big city kid, but we lived in a small city, and you just didn't have. You had the big box grocery stores. You didn't have little family grocery stores. So anyway, this was a prize patrol. I'm trying to think. I should have marked if they were all attendee prize patrols. But anyway, on my badge, remember I was group. I don't remember what group I was. I was group 2. So we didn't get our prize patrol until Saturday. So Thursday they called 3s. They called 1 or 3, and then so Thursday they called 1 or 3. Friday they called 3 or 1, and then Saturday they called 2. And for our number 2 prize patrol, I received this paper. Now, I did showcase this the other night, and it is gorgeous paper. So I'm going to show you again for those of you that might have missed it. So these 2 were all attendee giveaways. And this font reminds me of when we were those of us who are a little older, a little more seasoned, a little more mature, were first learning cursive. This is kind of like that perfect cursive that we were taught. But this is such a versatile set. It's called a family celebration, and it's got, a very happy birthday to grandpa, grandma, brother, better half, all of the people that would be in your family. So that's really nice. And then this one is sending salutations. And hopefully you can see all these sayings on here, but congratulations on your achievement. Cheers to you. Sending best wishes for health and healing. Here's to a new chapter. I don't know what I'd do without you. I truly appreciate all you do. Thank you so much for your friendship. Wishing you a bright and beautiful future. To a marvelous person on their birthday, I hope all things wonderful are headed your way, and I am here for you. These are just some really classic sayings. I like that they're script and blocked mixed sentiments. I kind of like those because it gives a little variety, and I think it just elevates it a little bit when you're putting a sentiment on. So these were both all attendee giveaways. All right. So when Stampin' Up! Says, oh, who's ready for Prize Patrol? And everybody's like, oh, yeah. And then they say, well, stand up, and, look at your badge. And if your name is on it, stand up. So everybody is able to get this. So that's always fun to do Prize Patrol. And these were Prize Patrol, I'm pretty certain. And then we did some make and takes. So, good night, Yuta. Thanks for popping in. So then we did Friday and Saturday in our bag when we pick stuff up. We have our make and take projects. All right. So they tell us to bring like a certain size block, and they'll supply pretty much everything else we need. So everybody got these packs that had all of the pieces. This particular pack also had some elements in it. These are adhesive back metallic gems. So they're pretty nice. It looks like bronze, gold, and silver. So there's small and larger pieces that have adhesive on them. And then we got the pieces to make 2 cards with a new designer series paper. Now the designer series paper that we get will be 2-sided, but this is just a single side, and they give us a sample and left out the alcohol blends for us to do this. And they left out some crumb cake ink we used for that. And then we used our all attendee giveaway to a marvelous person on their birthday. That was their sample. All right. I didn't break my stamps out on Friday for that make and take, but I did everything else. And I did this one pretty close to the sample. And I put the pieces together. Maybe, there we go. I put the pieces together. I wasn't sure that I wanted to use the circle because it felt like it needed something. Like here, it just felt like it needed something, excuse me, like a ribbon behind it or another element behind it, like maybe another black circle to make it stand out more. I thought if I tried the alcohol blend, that putting a little border on there might have been enough. I didn't care for that so much. Somebody suggested maybe like sponge dauber. That might work. And I happen to have one here with gorgeous grape on it, but you know, I'm not sure that that's going to work for me either. So I'll play with that and finish it later. And then we got envelopes as well to do each of the projects. So this was our make and take for Friday. So we got enough supplies to make 2. So this will be a ready to go project. Maybe I'll do tomorrow because it'll be easy because it's already prepped. And then these embellishments. So that was our Friday make and take. Lots of stuff, don't you think? And then Saturday we had another make and take pack. And this one I showed made some really cute, and I did them both because they were fun. And we used those new stencil, the design decorative masks that I mentioned that are like 13 inches square. We use those to make these cards. All right. So this is just kind of like a tone on tone, but it's a note card with a small layer that we use the stencil, the decorative mask, to put some polka dot design on. And then we had just these couple of little strips that we used our blending brush and that decorative mask to make that design. My first thought was a giraffe. Not in this color, but that's the first shape that I saw. I think it's kind of intended to be water or pebbles, but I see giraffe. And then we put a little bit on the envelope, and I did 2 with the different sentiments on it. So one I did a little bit lighter. This one I did a little bit darker with my ink blending. And in this make and take pack, we got these new ephemera pieces. These are called the Sincerely Noted Mix and Match ephemera pieces. Now, the neat thing about these is that you get 6 sheets, 2 of each of the designs. They're already laser cut, of course, so you can just pop it out, all right? But they are also self-adhesive. So the backs peel off and they are ready to go. So what could be better? You see snake skin. Yep, absolutely could see snake skin. I did a post and I asked, what do you see when you see this shape? And snake skin did not come up, but yes, certainly. Somebody said a tortoise shell. It could work too. So if you kind of blending brushed the whole thing and then put that stencil over the top, or if you did it on colored cardstock, it would look more like a tortoise. So these sentiments are from this ephemera pack. So this is a new ephemera pack that's coming out. So again, you get 2 sheets each of 3 designs, so 6 sheets. And these things are I like these. Sometimes I get the ephemera packs just so that I have them so people can see. These I think I will actually use a lot. So if you need a quick and easy card, or if you're a demonstrator and you want a quick and easy class, something that's very choreographed, you could do a pack of note cards and a pack of ephemera pieces and price your class to do like a product-based class. All right. And then they could come in, even if you wanted to do like an in color thing, they could get their color of the month, make these cards, bring back their ephemera pieces every month, or leave them at your house or whatever, wherever you're doing your classes. But a lot of versatility with this. So I just thought this was a cute little card. So I did both of mine right away. Oh, here's my other one. So I thought those were so cute. And I figured I didn't have that decorative mask. I could not order it yet because it's not on our pre-order for the product purchase premiere. So if you go to an OnStage event, you are allowed to purchase a very limited number of items. You know, there's just a few products and you have a very small amount. Like I could order one of like a suite, and I might be able to order 2 of paper, but that's all we can order. All right. So they limited us, which I think is fair because, you know, you don't want somebody seeing something they like and then they buy 100 of it because they're going to have some retreat and then there's nothing left for anybody else because a whole bunch of demonstrators have done that. So I think having limits when we have pre-orders is very important. And it gives us a chance as a pre-order to do some of these things early so that we can get things prepared to show to everybody else. All right. And then we did an after hours. So this was a separate event, basically, after hours on Friday night. So Thursday night we had Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, Thursday night we had a welcome party. So there were little like finger foods and a band that was there, and they did some karaoke. It's just a nice couple of hours as a welcome party to catch up with the friends that you've made before and have some little snacks and stuff. So that was Thursday night. Friday night, this is like a pay to play sort of thing. It's after hours. Basically, you purchase the bundle and you get the supplies, and then you go from a certain time. We had from 7:30 until 9 o'clock, which was not enough time to chit chat and then get all the work done, right? But this is the bundle that we received this year. There's a little bit of floral on here, but it's not overly floral. A lot of people don't like the fact that, oh, there's so much floral stuff. This is a nice mix, and I like the foliage things. You've got some moths on there, so it's not all the fluffy, you know, fancy butterflies. They're more earthy things. A nice label shape on there, and then the dies that are really versatile too to give you some ferns. These make some flowers. They look like little bow ties, but they actually make flowers. And then there's some really little pieces that make the insides of the flowers. But we received all of the die cut pieces we needed. We received the bundle. We received these embellishments. These are called the dewdrop embellishments. They are pretty low profile, so they will mail relatively well. I would still cover it. Usually if I'm mailing anything that's got embellishments on it, I will emboss like a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of cardstock and put that on top and put it in the mail. That way whoever's getting it can use that layer if they're making a card, or they can just keep it and do whatever it is they want to do with it. But at least it protects it so my embellishments don't break through the envelope is what I was getting at. All right. So this is the Fern and Flora bundle. And then those are the embellishments. And let me show you some of what we got, if I can get these pieces out of here. So we get the whole pack of stuff, but then we also get our directions on how to put together for these samples. All right. So let me pull out my parts and pieces. So we also received all of the laser cut pieces so that we didn't have to die cut while we were there. And we received all of the pieces to make 4 cards. And I got one done. One done. And let's see. These pieces I put inside because that one's even less done than the other ones. But we got all the laser cut pieces to do any stamping. So for these flowers, we got flower pieces to stamp on with our stamp set. We got a couple of sheets of basically designer series paper that was printed for us to cut out for the various shapes. And some label pieces. But this was the first card. So we had a piece of designer series paper, some two-tone cardstock, a white piece of cardstock, and then this background piece that's in this golden glow ink, the new ink. That is a single stamp. So you don't have to worry about, oh, move it on over, am I going to line it up? That is one single stamp. All right. I love that fern frond too. These little flowers, then you have to put 2 of those little bow ties together to make your flower. Put a couple of those little mustache pieces together, and then you've got these little white pieces for the centers of your flowers. So this one here that looks like an E on its back, that's for that more open flower that's flat. And then these little star shapes are for the bow ties that you just crisscross to make like a pansy. All right. So really fun card to make. And then this one I mostly got done. But I think I'm going to change the layout of mine. It was designed to go landscape. We'll do a little paper tearing. And then I stamped and I used the ink colors that they had there because that's the new Golden Glow, the Peaceful Pine, and that this was Secret Sea, so that wasn't a new color. But then we got, you know, this frond that was laser cut on gold, the pre-cut label. So this will go, there was another label piece, I don't know where it is. It's in here somewhere. But they'll kind of layer together. And we'll make a little grouping here and kind of put it all together. I just didn't get it done because, you know, you get in these things and you get to talking and, you know, it's just hard to get it all done. So you can kind of visualize what that will kind of look like. And then with our little mothy butterfly on there, and then this one kind of layers over here. This one layers over here, and that's going to be my card. And this is a whole piece of designer series paper. All right, so that'll kind of be like that. And then, of course, some embellishments on there. All right. And then we got envelopes. I think maybe we didn't get envelopes. I thought we'd gotten envelopes. I might have them stashed somewhere. All right, and then we have this one. I did not get my fern pieces stamped. I will have to wait until I get my Golden Glow. Or did I? Oh, these are extra ones. I did get them stamped. So this was a piece of the designer series paper that came with. So that's almost like pine tree tips. And then we stamped on here and we did a little blending brush work. A little ink blending. We stamped one of those. I'll put that up on dimensionals. And we have these 2 pieces that will basically just kind of go like so. And there's another card. Pretty quick and easy. And then this card, the background is going to be the Secret Sea. There's going to be all of these little fronds coming in from various angles. We did some ink blending on those. So these all just kind of randomly come in here. to create that image. Some of these will have to be trimmed down, I think. And then here's that gold piece I was looking at. So we've got, these will kind of get layered however I decide to layer them on the front of there. And then we'll add some more flowers on here to add just a pop of color. All right, and then we'll have some extra pieces to do some other cards. All right, so we'll have some strips. So like for this one where it had the strip here that we're going to do some paper tearing, we could make several others with that. And because we've got the die set, we can cut all of these other pieces. So that was our pay to play after hours crafting time. So some of these other pieces I didn't really need, but they were the extra pieces that we use the backs to kind of be white cardstock, but they're really thin paper, so I will probably just use cardstock instead. All right, so that was real fun. So there's our after hours. And I thought that was well worth the money too. But I've done these at other times, and it's a nice booklet that shows the measurements and everything on these samples, so that's nice. All right, we are almost done. I am just going to showcase this paper, and then I'm going to call it a night. I showed this paper the other night, and it is beautiful. Yes, Allie, I really love the ferns too. Some years past, we've had choices of like 3 different bundles, and it's been kind of chaotic getting into the room to do our after hours because they're sorting through what people need, what bundle. This time everybody did the same bundle, and I think it worked out much better. So anyway, let's take a look at these papers. This is the new Scenic Coast. Now there is a bundle, stamps and dies that go with this as well. And basically the paper is going to do most of the work. The dies are splendid. I will be getting them as well. They should just have a code for those that could afford it. I couldn't, but they should just have a code that says, I want it all, so that you just put in one number and you could get all the things. But that's not how it works. But there were so many things that I saw that I wanted. So this paper, hopefully, what did you miss when you weren't here? You'll have to just go back and see it. I showed all of my stuff from start to finish for OnStage. So the bag we got, the OnStage Plus I got because I'm Silver Elite, the Prize Patrol things, all the things. All right, so this is the only paper I have showcased, but there are 6 designs. And if you can see this, there is shimmer to cause that reflection, so it really looks like it's water. All right, and there's the back side. This one, and they all basically do the same work. So this would be like the sky, and this would be the water. And you should be able to see all of that shimmer. Now, the dies that go on here really accent. There is like a sailboat, so it's nautical things, all right? And as soon as I can order that, I will be ordering that. And then there's that golden glow. This is upside down. So here's another one. All right, and hopefully you can see that shimmer. There's the back side, the B side. That almost looks like it could be a stormy sky or a sunrise. Beautiful paper. This is really And the other thing is this looks like it's on canvas. All right. So the ink that's on here, the blending, it looks like it's been either, you know, paletted using a palette to put paste, you know, your paint or whatever. Yes, it definitely would be good for Easter cards. But these look like they have been painted onto a canvas. And then this one is really pretty as well. Gorgeous, gorgeous paper. All right. So this should be the standard 48 pieces. Yeah, 48 pieces. So you've got 6 designs. So you get 8 sheets of each. So if you were going to have, you know, a class with this, you have enough to do. You know, you could have 8 people, or if you had 4 people, they could each get 2 sheets. You know, you could split it up. You could break this up into like a paper share thing. But gorgeous, gorgeous paper. I'm looking forward to doing some fun things with that. And the paper will be available. It depends on whether you are a demonstrator or not. Demonstrators, and I haven't looked. It might be available now. The 16th is when our catalog is available online, the new May to August catalog. So that's something else. You know, Stampin' Up! Is going to 3 standard catalogs a year now. So there won't be an annual catalog that gets overlooked when the next mini catalog comes out. There are going to be 3 standalone catalog periods. They're all going to contain some of the basics. So they'll have papers and colors, tools, some of those essential things that should be in every catalog if you're passing off a catalog to somebody who's never seen one before. It'll have less story things in it, less lifestyle things. It'll have more product focused pages on it. And it's organized more like the beginner stamper who needs it choreographed, kits and things that are all ready to go. And then for your avid crafter as well. So there's going to be those. There's a table of, or there's an index in the back, table of contents. Some of the things are going to be repeated between pages because if you have a suite, you're not going to see all of the separate pricing for each of the components in the suite because the bundle will be in another part of the catalog that lists the bundles. So I think the catalog is going back to a more useful spread where we can find things in multiple places that make more sense to how whatever kind of stamper you are or crafter you are. So that catalog for demonstrators is available on the 16th. And then I quite honestly do not remember when the pre-order starts for demonstrators. It should be relatively soon though, because the catalog will start in May, and usually we get like four to 6 weeks ahead of a catalog release to do pre-order. So I'm real happy with the catalog. So on that note, I can show you the cover of the catalog. I cannot show you the inside. I can tell you that this goes from May to August 2026. And there is just the highlight pages for some things. So there's a suite collection highlighted here. What a demonstrator can do for you is highlighted on here. The new in colors are highlighted on here with the page numbers. And it's thinner. So for those of you who are demonstrators and mail them to your customers, this should be more cost effective for you to mail. And all of the 3 catalogs throughout the year will be similar in size. 1 page corner. I'm not sure what that means. 1 page corner. You'll have to let me know what you're... alluding to, Allie, because I'm not quite sure. So this catalog is actually 88 pages from cover to cover. And they will all be probably within about 4 to 8 pages of each other, depending on the spreads. All right, so we'll have January to April, May to August, September to December. So none of the catalogs will overlap anymore. We will still have the online exclusives. You prefer the online, and that's what Stampin' Up! Has found. A lot of people really like the online. A lot of people really like having paper in their hand. So they're trying to find what's going to make everybody happy. But having the smaller catalogs that run for shorter periods of time is going to help follow trends better, follow inventory control better, because if they've got something that's sold really, really well, but it's not necessarily slated for the next calendar, they can shift it to an online exclusive. So I think overall, this is going to be really fun. So you don't do well with paper and there's too much to look through. That's how I would be. I get so overwhelmed. And, you know, if I'm looking on things online, I can look for a specific item, but then I might miss a lot of things too. So, you know, I just don't, I probably do more online myself just because I don't need more paper in my life. But there are a lot of people that really like to have like a book in their hand. And, you know, I do like having like a novel in my hand, but I also like reading my online things through Kindle or my old Nook. So, all right. I'm going to call this a wrap. Yeah, see, it goes both ways. Yeah, a little ADHD, a little OCD, and I've got kind of a mix of both. So I think it kind of depends on what day it is as to what my struggle is. But the struggle is real. I get it. So I think this is a good balance. So tomorrow night, or later tonight, actually, because it's not quite 1:30 in the morning here. I'm a little messed up with my time zones because we gained time going out, but we lost time here, and it was right after the time change weekend, and blah. So yeah. And I hear Mac Man, I think, walking around. So I'm gonna say goodnight later, like 23, 22 hours or something. We'll get some projects going on with some of the new things that I brought back. And until then, happy crafting. Have a good night, everybody.